Welcome to week 9 of the How to Live by Design in 90 Days challenge. Well, we're into the final month now of the challenge. Congratulations. And this week I thought it would be a great time to share with you the 4-stage success model for goal setting and achievement from NLP. And you'll find that it fits perfectly as we lead into another principle of success that I hope you'll enjoy today. So what is the 4-stage success model from NLP? Well, let's cover it very quickly. The first stage is decide on what you want. And you'll notice that we've covered this in a lot of detail by exploring our goals and our priorities and really strengthening our resolve around these by understanding how it links to our values and understanding our reasons why. Stage 2. Do something. Well, it's no secret that I believe that action is the cure to everything, and we've spent a lot of time in the challenge focused on taking action because there is no substitute for action. Stage 3. Notice what happens. We spent some time in this area where we explored the moments of truth and how important it is to set milestones along the way. Because not every goal that you set up front is going to be the right one. And not every action you take is going to have the desired outcome. So it's vital to have moments along the way where you can reassess where you are versus where you want to be. And stage 4 is to change what you do until you get the result that you desire, the result that you want. And this is critical. It reminds me of a fantastic quote from Albert Einstein, who gave us the definition of insanity. To do the same thing over and over again and to expect a different result. And that's vital. And that's what leads nicely into the principle of success that I'd like to share with you today, which is all around the importance of behavioural flexibility. Now, why is this important? Well, the more flexible you are in your behaviour, the greater the amount of control you have in any given situation. And the better communicator you become in general, so you can get a better response from those around you. Now, there's a presupposition in NLP which I just love, and this sums it up nicely. It states that the person with the greatest behavioural flexibility always wins. Now, let's put this to the test. Who in your life that you know do you believe displays the greatest behavioural flexibility? Who always seems to win? Who always seems to get their own way? My answer? Kids. That's right. I believe that kids show the greatest behavioural flexibility, and there's a lesson for all of us. Now, I'm not saying that kicking and screaming and crying on the floor is our way to get to the top, to be successful. Not at all. What I am saying is that we can learn a few lessons from children in regards to behavioural flexibility. Now, what is it about kids that's a little bit different? There's probably 3 things that stick out for me. They seem to have no fear. They seem to have no pride. And they seem to have not learnt ego as yet. And so what really matters to kids is the result. In fact, that's all that matters. They can't understand anything that leads up to that. They will kick, scream, cry, throw a tantrum until they get that lolly, until they get their way. And most often, they do. And so we have to ask ourselves a question as adults. Are we putting the result above everything else? Because if the answer is yes, then we're not really concerned about the process of how we get there. We're not interested in the how as much as we are about the final outcome, about the result. So this week's challenge is all about developing and building our behavioural flexibility to give ourselves the biggest chance of success. We're so close now, we don't want to leave anything to chance, and this could make all the difference. So what are the 3 things that we could do this week to improve our behavioural flexibility? Well, firstly, I want you to take stock and identify certain patterns that you continuously display that are not giving you the results that you're looking for. Where does it feel like Groundhog Day for you? Where are you doing the same things you've been doing for years and just realizing now that it's not getting you the results you want or not getting you better results? Perhaps you need to ask people around you for an objective and a different perspective around your behaviors, because it may not be so obvious to you. Secondly, what can you do differently? This is where you really get a chance to step outside your comfort zone, to step outside of what may be familiar, to take a chance, to take a risk, to do something different for the chance of getting a different result. Remember the words of Albert Einstein, the definition of insanity. Let's do something different. There's another person that exemplifies what this is all about, behavioural flexibility, and that was Thomas Edison. He took over 10,000 attempts before he invented the light bulb, and he was often quizzed about failing so many times, and his reply was, "I never failed. I just found 10,000 ways not to do it." So that can be our goal this week. Find more ways not to do it, because every way that we find not to do it is one step closer to finding the answer to how we should be doing it. And finally, the 3rd and final step this week is to have a go. Once you have your 2 lists, identifying your patterns of behaviour that are holding you back, and perhaps a new list of actions or things that you can do differently, put it into practice, see what happens, see where it takes you. You may get a lot closer to achieving your goal a lot faster. Now, I want to leave you this week with a personal experience of mine. So I was looking at my own life in terms of how I displayed behavioural flexibility. And I'll never forget this experience when I first started my prestigious marketing career at St. George Bank. You may not realise, but I started my marketing career as the Happy Dragon, that's right, in a big green fluffy suit. I started my first day in the marketing department and I met the marketing director. I was dressed in my suit and tie, and the first thing that he said to me was that every man that joins this department must wear the big green fluffy Happy Dragon suit, because I want you to understand what it truly is that connects our customers to this brand. And if you think that that's beneath you, well, there's no place in my team for you. And I just thought, wow, what a way to start. But I had no objections. I thought it was a great idea, and I learnt a real valuable lesson then and there. And it was to suspend ego and to suspend pride, to do the right thing, to always put my customer first, and that would make me a much better and much more successful marketing manager. And I believe that it was true. And I've had that from that day one in my career, and I've followed it through till today. And hey, now as a new father, or a young father, with my little boy Max rolling around on the floor, every now and then I display behavioural flexibility and join him kicking and screaming on the floor, just so he knows that his dad knows what it takes to win as well. And so this week I ask you and encourage you to have some fun displaying some behavioural flexibility. Do something different, do something outside your comfort zone, do something that'll put a smile on your face, and you'll find that it just gets easier and easier as you give it more of a chance. And so good luck this week, have an inspiring week, and next week we'll get on to something really important. We're going to cover something that I've learnt from a Tony Robbins model, which I think will be great in really steering you home in the challenge. Have an inspiring week.